Y'all, brace yourselves. Today's update just detonated the gospel world. What began as hushed whispers in church hallways has exploded into one of the juiciest scandals gospel fans could imagine. And no, it's not about sermons or Sunday dinners. It's betrayal, broken trust, and a truth ripping apart one of gospel's most cherished couples. Tamela Mann, the powerhouse behind Take Me to the King, boldly stepped forward with revelations nobody saw coming. She accused her husband, David Mann, of running her finances like his personal empire and failing to live up to the husband-dan-father image the world adored. Fans were left speechless, the industry dumbfounded, and social media instantly transformed into a full-blown battlefield. Just when you thought the drama had peaked, it didn't. David Mann finally broke his silence. And what he unveiled didn't just shake his marriage, it dragged gospel legend Kirk Franklin right into the storm. Trust me, what David Mann revealed next will have you questioning every notion of loyalty, friendship, and faith you ever held in the gospel world. And that, my friends, was only the opening act. It all ignited with a confession that blindsided everyone. Tamela Mann, the icon of grace, devotion, and angelic vocals, stepped out from behind the stage lights and shattered the calm stage lights and dropped a bomb nobody saw coming. In a raw moment of honesty, Tamela Mann revealed that her husband, David Mann, the very man she built her family and career with, had allegedly controlled her finances for years. Every paycheck, contract, and dollar she earned supposedly passed through him first. She claimed she had no real access to her own accounts and no say in major financial decisions. Fans were left reeling. Trying to reconcile the man who made them laugh on Meet the Browns with the controlling figure, Tamela described. A man who allegedly turned financial oversight into power, but the drama didn't stop there. Tamela Mann opened up about her personal pain, explaining that David Mann hadn't been fully present as a father or partner, masking years of emotional distance behind public smiles. Her confession hit especially hard, coming from a woman whose marriage had long been gospel's model of faith and unity. The community erupted. Some applauded her bravery, others urged the couple to handle matters privately. Social media exploded with shock, disbelief, and prayers for healing. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, whispers of David Mann's name started circulating in boardrooms and back offices, hinting at something bigger, brewing beyond the public eye. Things far more serious. What came next would catapult this saga to a level nobody anticipated. After Tamela Mann's revelation, the gospel world didn't just gasp, it erupted. Within days, reports surfaced that David Mann's finances were under close scrutiny. Sources close to the couple claimed investigators were quietly digging into his bank accounts, properties, and business dealings. What began as a private family dispute quickly morphed into a full-blown money trail investigation. Rumors swirled that multiple accounts tied to David Mann were being examined for irregular transfers and undisclosed income. With whispers that his production ventures and brand partnerships might have been tangled with personal funds, while no official charges were confirmed, murmurs of ongoing financial review grew louder each day. Fans struggled to reconcile the beloved comedic faith-driven figure on TV with the man now shadowed by investigations and frozen accounts. Insiders claimed the pressure had been mounting for years. Long before Tamela Mann spoke out, her confession merely opened the floodgates. As headlines exploded, one name kept surfacing: Kirk Franklin, David Mann's longtime brother in faith, musical collaborator, and close family friend. The duo had built chart-topping hits together, prayed side by side, and performed on countless stages. But behind closed doors, tension had been simmering, about to erupt in a way nobody saw coming. When Kirk Franklin finally spoke, his words would twist the narrative completely, leaving David Mann feeling the sting of ultimate betrayal. For years, the two were inseparable, not just collaborators, but spiritual brothers. From gospel tours to church conferences, they shared stages, laughter, and heartfelt testimonies of faith and brotherhood. So naturally, when the David Tamela Mann controversy blew up, fans expected Kirk Franklin to stay quiet, or at least play it safe. But no, he went full unthinkable. Kirk Franklin finally broke his silence in a moment that sent shockwaves through the gospel community. Reports say he confirmed Tamela Mann wasn't exaggerating. Sources claim he openly acknowledged that David Mann hadn't been the husband or father everyone assumed. His words were measured yet cutting, hitting deep. He spoke about accountability, how fame can twist even the most faithful hearts, and that true friendship sometimes demands delivering uncomfortable truths. Kirk Franklin never named David Mann directly, but the timing and tone left zero doubt. Social media instantly ignited. Fans praised Kirk for bravery, calling it standing up for truth and moral courage. Yes, exposing a friend, but the backlash was real. Critics called it betrayal, kicking a brother while he was down, and even Meanwhile, David Mann stayed quiet. No statements, no interviews, just silence. Close sources said he was furious, blindsided, and deeply hurt. To him, this wasn't just public humiliation, it was personal betrayal by someone he considered family. When he finally responded, his words weren't just emotional, they were explosive, pulling back the curtain on a friendship that might never recover. After weeks of silence and swirling rumors, David Mann stepped forward, leaving the gospel world speechless. His voice heavy with anger and exhaustion, carrying the weight of a man pushed to his breaking point, had reached his breaking point. For the first time, David Mann addressed not only his wife's accusations, but also Kirk Franklin's comments that cut deeper than anyone imagined. He didn't hold back. He began with, "Kirk Franklin was never my real friend." Those words alone set social media ablaze. He explained that their so-called friendship was built on manipulation, not trust. According to David Mann, Kirk Franklin began under the guise of brotherhood, but over time, his true intentions surfaced. He alleged that Kirk inserted himself into his family's private life, becoming closer to Tamela Mann than David ever anticipated. David Mann claimed that while he was working or traveling, Kirk Franklin spent time at his home with his wife and children, turning what seemed like a godly friendship into something questionable. His tone was raw, a mix of hurt and disbelief. "I trusted him," he said. "I thought he was my brother, but he crossed boundaries I never authorized." Fans went into a frenzy, reigniting debates on loyalty and trust in gospel circles. David Mann hinted he had proof that the closeness between Kirk and Tamela went beyond mere friendship. He suggested unexplained absences and odd behaviors suddenly made sense in hindsight. The internet erupted. Hashtags trended. Old interviews resurfaced and clips of the three together were replayed and dissected for hidden signs. Every smile, hug, and shared stage moment now carried a new meaning. But David Mann wasn't finished. The evidence he claimed had been hidden for months promised to escalate the controversy to a whole new level. And when that proof came out, everything changed. Sources revealed that, just days after his statement, close to him claimed he had revealed something that sent the entire story into a downward spiral of chaos. Tamela Mann's phone logs. According to insiders, David Mann presented what he described as evidence of lengthy private calls between Tamela Mann and Kirk Franklin, calls stretching for hours, often late at night, almost always when David was away. These weren't quick check-ins or work-related conversations. They were deeply personal exchanges that blurred the line between friendship and something more. Fans were stunned. David Mann had long been seen as gospel's example of a strong, faith-based marriage, and Kirk Franklin, practically family. Seeing his name tied to late-night calls and emotional exchanges with Tamela, Mann left everyone questioning everything they thought they knew. David Mann reportedly confronted Tamela about the calls, but according to insiders, her response only intensified his suspicions. She allegedly defended the conversations, claiming Kirk Franklin was simply a confidant, someone who understood her pain when David didn't. To David, it felt like betrayal disguised as compassion. He went further, asserting that Kirk Franklin had spent time at their home during his absences, not merely as a friend, but as someone crossing emotional boundaries. To David, the pattern was undeniable, a friendship that turned into something that destroyed his family. Yet amid all the pain and anger, David Mann's words took an unexpected turn. Instead of attacking Tamela, he confessed something that silenced everyone. Despite accusations, humiliation, and heartbreak, he admitted he still loved her. And that's when the story hit its most emotional peak. Through all the anger, bitterness, and betrayal, David Mann's next words came straight from a place no one anticipated. Heartbreak? In a trembling voice, David Mann admitted that despite everything said and done, he still loved Tamela Mann. He told listeners that his pain wasn't just about losing control over finances or reputation. It was about losing the woman he had built his entire life with. He revealed that the hardest part wasn't the public backlash or the headlines. It was realizing that the person he trusted most no longer believed in him. "I don't hate Tamela," he said softly. "I just don't recognize her anymore." Those words hit differently. Not the fury of a man trying to win a PR battle, but the confession of a husband still holding on to a love that might already be gone. Then came the line that set social media ablaze. David Mann claimed Tamela wasn't acting alone, that she had been influenced and manipulated, and that Kirk Franklin had gotten into her head. "She's not the same woman I married. Somebody got to her. She's been brainwashed," he said. The gospel world froze. Fans replayed the clip repeatedly, trying to make sense of it. Some saw desperation from a man unable to accept responsibility. Others saw a broken heart speaking the only way it could. Either way, it added a new layer to the scandal, blending heartbreak, betrayal, and spiritual warfare. He ended by saying he still prays for Tamela every night, seeking healing over revenge. "She's my wife, my partner, my best friend, even if she doesn't see me that way anymore." Those words left the gospel community silent. For all the rumors, receipts, and finger-pointing, what David Mann expressed was something everyone could feel. pain. But the story wasn't finished once the gospel world heard his side. People started taking sides, and the fallout shook the industry to its core. The moment David Mann's confession hit the internet, the gospel world exploded like never before. Within hours, church circles, fan pages, and gospel blogs were ablaze. Some framed it as a spiritual battle cloaked in scandal, while others saw it as the long-overdue unmasking of a marriage in turmoil for years. Prominent gospel artists began weighing in, some urging prayer and counseling for the couple, others subtly picking sides. One singer posted, "The devil attacks families through distraction and deception," a message fans immediately linked to Tamela Mann. Another quietly wrote, "Every friendship is divine." People didn't have to name names. Everyone knew who they meant. Meanwhile, longtime fans of the Manns split right down the middle. Half defended Tamela, saying she had every right to speak her truth after years of silence. The other half stood by David Mann, insisting he was a man trying to hold his family together while being painted the villain. Church leaders, pastors, ministers, and gospel podcasters debated the ethics of publicizing private matters. Some praised Tamela Mann's courage and accountability, while others argued that David Mann's heartbreak showed betrayal can strike even the most faithful homes. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors circulated that several upcoming gospel collaborations were quietly paused due to the controversy. Industry insiders avoided taking sides publicly, yet everyone watched and whispered behind the scenes. And amid this chaos, one name remained eerily silent: Kirk Franklin. No statement, no denial, no post, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes, leaving fans to wonder. No one, Dorito before. If David Mann was lying, why wasn't Kirk Franklin defending himself? And if David was telling the truth, what else hadn't yet been revealed? As the dust began to settle, one thing became crystal clear. This story was no longer just about a marriage or a friendship. It had become a mirror reflecting the very core of gospel culture: loyalty, faith, temptation, and truth. What happens next could very well change how the world views gospel's most powerful trio forever. As days passed, the controversy refused to fade. What began as a private marital rift had erupted into a full-blown media storm, one that neither Tamela Mann, David Mann, nor Kirk Franklin could escape. Every interview, gospel event, and livestream now carried the same question: what really happened between them? Insiders claim David Mann and Tamela Mann are now living separately, focusing on healing and silence. Tamela has reportedly leaned into ministry work and new music, while David remains under quiet observation as financial reviews continue. Kirk Franklin, still silent, has been seen dodging questions at recent appearances, fueling even more speculation. Fans remain torn, praying for reconciliation while dissecting every word, photo, and lyric shared by the trio. One thing is certain: the image of gospel's perfect family has been irrevocably changed. Beneath the songs, sermons, and smiles lies a story of love, loyalty, and loss. A story proving that even those who preach grace can fall into the very storms they warn against. And as this chapter closes, one undeniable truth remains: in gospel music, sometimes the loudest praises hide the deepest secrets.